And when I have finished, I will have reduced the student population by 75%. The strong will get stronger.
What if I told you that Cypher, the calm, intelligent, and composed leader of Godolkin University, might just be the most terrifying villain the boys' universe has ever introduced? Forget Homelander's God complex or Dean Shetty's obsession with eradicating soups. Cypher's plan in Gen V Season 2, Episode 6 reveals a level of cold, calculated evil that completely changes the tone of the series, and possibly sets up the next big threat for The Boys Season 5. By this point in the story, Gen V Season 2 had been teasing us with Cypher's cryptic motives from the very start. We knew he wasn't your average soup, and he definitely wasn't like Dean Shetty. For a while, it seemed like he was trying to bring order to the chaos left behind after Shetty's death. He was calm, measured, and eerily persuasive. But now the mystery is over, and what's hiding underneath his mentor personality is a dark, twisted vision for the future of the superhuman race. So let's break it down. Don't forget to like and watch to the end. That will help the algorithm to push my videos to more people. What exactly is Cypher's plan? How does Marie factor into all of this? And why does Episode 6 make him not only more dangerous than Shetty, but possibly even worse than Homelander himself? Stick around because the layers to Cypher's character go deeper than you think. At the start of Gen V Season 2, Cypher quickly established himself as the new figure of authority at Godolkin University. He wasn't the loud, cruel type like Homelander, nor was he the manipulative, guilt-ridden scientist like Dean Shetty. Cypher's charm came from his restraint. He spoke softly, but his words carried a frightening weight. He always seemed to know more than he let on, watching from the shadows, quietly analyzing every move the students made, especially Marie's. Fans initially speculated that Cypher might be trying to clean up Shetty's mess. After all, Shetty's plan to use a virus to wipe out all soups was too extreme even for Vought. Cypher, on the surface, appeared to be her replacement, the new dean, someone who would repair Godolkin's image and protect the students. But Episode 6 flips that perception completely on its head. When Cypher finally reveals his master plan, it's not to protect soups, it's to eliminate them. Not all of them, though. Just 75% of them. You heard that right. Cypher's goal is to wipe out 3/4 of the soups at Godolkin University. He calls it purification, a way to strengthen the species by removing the weak. In his twisted logic, only the most powerful soups deserve to survive, while the rest are expendable. It's a chilling parallel to Dean Shetty's experiments in the woods. While Shetty's motivation was revenge against the superhuman race, Cypher's is about control, evolution even. Where Shetty wanted to end the soup era completely, Cypher wants to redesign it. He believes that by removing the unworthy, he can shape the next generation of soups into something more divine, something unstoppable. And that's exactly what makes him so dangerous. Unlike Shetty, who was human and limited in what she could do, Cypher is one of them. He's a soup, but there's something off about him. And Episode 6 gives us the first real clue as to what that might be. Remember when Marie examined Cypher's blood earlier in the season and couldn't detect any compound V? At first, fans thought it was a writing error, or maybe Cypher was masking his V levels somehow. But what if that moment wasn't a mistake at all? What if Cypher isn't really a soup? The theory goes that Cypher may not have compound V in his system because he was never born with it. Instead, he could be something entirely different. A human who's been modified, or worse, a host for someone else's consciousness. That idea gains major traction when we look at that creepy, burned man locked in Cypher's chamber. Episode 6 strongly hints that this person could be none other than Thomas Godolkin, the original founder of Godolkin University. Think about it. The show's name, the clues scattered across Cypher's office, and the Nazi memorabilia. They all paint a picture of someone obsessed with purity, evolution, and power. It's not far-fetched to think that Thomas Godolkin may have been experimenting with ways to transfer consciousness or extend life, and Cypher is the result. If Cypher is indeed being controlled by Thomas Godolkin, that would explain everything. It explains why Marie couldn't detect compound V in his blood. It explains his eerie calmness, the detached, almost mechanical precision. And it explains his obsession with perfecting the next generation of soups. Cypher might just be the puppet, and Thomas Godolkin, the puppeteer, trapped in a broken body, manipulating him from the shadows. Now let's talk about Cypher's connection to Marie. Throughout Season 2, Cypher has taken a special interest in Marie, almost obsessively. At first, it seemed like he was impressed by her power, her ability to manipulate blood. But by Episode 6, he reveals that she's more than just another student to him. Cypher calls her the answer. During his tense conversation with Polarity, Cypher claims that Marie can help him heal, that through her, he can overcome his seizures and weaknesses. On the surface, it sounds like he wants to use her powers for personal reasons, but dig deeper, and the picture gets much darker. Cypher doesn't just want to heal himself. He wants to use Marie's blood-based abilities to enhance other soups, to make them stronger, faster, and more resilient. Essentially, he believes Marie's power can remove all imperfections from those he deems worthy. Imagine Homelander without weaknesses, without flaws, a race of pure, godlike beings. That's Cypher's vision. But here's the twisted part. Cypher's plan contradicts everything Homelander stands for. Homelander, despite his hypocrisy and psychopathy, believes all soups, even the weak ones, are superior to humans. His ideology is rooted in supremacy, not purification. He wants all soups to rule. Cypher, on the other hand, wants to eliminate any soup he sees as inferior. That's why he's keeping his plan hidden from Vought and especially from Homelander. He knows that if they found out, he'd be wiped off the map instantly. In a way, Cypher's arrogance surpasses even Homelander's. He doesn't care about humans, and he doesn't care about weaker soups. He believes only a select few deserve to exist, and through Marie, he can make them perfect. That's what makes him so terrifying. He's not fueled by anger or emotion. He's driven by logic, cold, scientific logic twisted into something monstrous. And then there's that final haunting question. Who is the burnt man really? If he truly is Thomas Godolkin, that opens up a massive Pandora's box for the genv and the boys' universe. It means the founder of Godolkin University never actually died. He just transferred his consciousness into Cypher's body. That would make Cypher not just a villain, but a vessel, a living experiment. And it would mean that everything happening at God, You the Woods, the experiments, the students, is all part of Thomas Godolkin's original vision coming to life again. This would also explain why Cypher has access to so much confidential information. He knows things about the school, about Vought, and about Compound V that no one else should. He moves like a man with decades of knowledge and secrets, because he probably is. And yet, even with all this power and intellect, Cypher is dying. The seizures, the physical limitations, they're hints that the body he's inhabiting is breaking down. That's why he's so obsessed with Marie. He believes her powers can repair him, can bring him back to his original form, or at least make him immortal through regeneration. But Marie, of course, has no idea how deep she's in. To her, Cypher might still seem like a mentor, someone who genuinely believes in her potential. But in reality, she's just another piece in his grand experiment, the answer to his problems, the key to perfecting his twisted vision of the future. And if that's true, she's in more danger than she realizes. Now think about how this could tie into the boys' main storyline. Homelander's rise, Vaught's control, the ongoing political chaos. It's all setting the stage for something catastrophic. Cypher's ideology could very well spark a civil war among soups. Imagine a conflict not between humans and soups, but between soups themselves, the strong versus the weak, Cypher's followers versus those who reject his vision. That could easily be the premise for The Boys Season 5, a full-blown soup purge. Cypher's cold ambition also draws comparisons to classic villains like Magneto or Ozymandias, men who believe mass destruction is justified for the sake of evolution. But what makes Cypher truly disturbing is how believable his motives are. He's not shouting about supremacy or vengeance. He's calmly explaining why the world needs to be reborn. He genuinely believes he's saving it, and that's what makes him a monster. At the end of Episode 6, when Cypher faces Polarity, the entire sequence feels symbolic, like the old generation of soups clashing with the new order. Polarity, a man of metal fighting against a man of mind. But what truly shocks fans is how Polarity manages to resist Cypher's control, flipping the tables and sending him crashing through a window. It's poetic justice, but it's also a hint. If Polarity could resist Cypher's powers, maybe Cypher's not as invincible as he thinks. Maybe his control has limits. And if Marie figures that out, if she realizes how to turn Cypher's logic against him, she could be the one to finally destroy his entire plan. Still, one question lingers. If Cypher truly is Thomas Godolkin, What happens when Marie tries to heal him? Will she end up reviving the original Godolkin himself, the very man who created the system she's trying to fight? That's the terrifying possibility. Cypher's death might not be the end. It could be the rebirth of something even worse. GenV Season 2 has outdone itself in expanding the boys' universe with deeper lore, psychological tension, and characters who blur the line between savior and villain. But Cypher? He's something else entirely. He's the kind of villain who doesn't just kill, he reshapes reality, one calculation at a time. And if Episode 6 is any indication, the blood-soaked path he's paving for Marie, Jordan, Emma is only just beginning. So the next time you see Cypher calmly smiling on screen, remember this. Behind that polite smile lies the mind of a man, or maybe a monster, who wants to rewrite the very DNA of the world. Because in Cypher's world, survival isn't about being good, it's about being perfect.